Once a month, I do a shorter talk followed by a long meditation. That's what we're going to do tonight. This is not going to be a very long meditation. It's going to be 20 to 30 minutes, just longer than our regular meditation. I love sitting for a very long time because you get to experience lots of different states in a long meditation. If you're really used to sitting for about 5 minutes, then you'll get used to that. But sitting for longer, first of all, you have a much better chance of getting deeper. You also have the chance to deal with what your body does when you make it sit still for a longer period of time. And a quick story about long meditation. This is the first part is not a story, but if you are in the adult martial arts class, the Kung Fu class, after a certain point to take a test, part of the test is a long meditation. And those meditations are long. It's an hour long for the green sash test, and it goes up from there for every test. So you have to sit totally still. Can't move at all. All you can do is breathe. And when it got time for me to take my red sash test, I had been preparing. Like I'm practicing for this marathon. I've been sitting for longer than I need to for the test, which is 2 hours. I was sitting for like 2.5 hours to get ready for it. And I had this system down. I had this beautiful beanbag chair that I was sitting in Seizan kneeling. And it was like so comfortable. When I did my super long meditation beforehand, I thought this is going to be such a cinch. I'm so ready for it. But I went to sit that night and my knees just started kind of sliding away from each other ever so slowly as I was settling down into the bag. And it got to the position where my hips were screaming at me, move, do whatever you need to move. And I thought seriously that I was going to throw up from the pain that I was in, from the position that I was sitting in. And that was the last hour of the meditation, was me just sitting there in pain, just willing myself to not move. It was pure will. No meditation was done that night at all. It was just awful pain. And when my Sifu Brown came in to stop the meditation, he came around, he asked us, did you move? No, sir. How's your meditation? It was great. Did you move? No, sir. It was great. How's your meditation? So he asked me, did you move? No, sir. But as soon as he like walked in the door, I flung myself off of the bag and I was writhing in agony on the ground. He said, how's your meditation? I said, sir, it was terrible. It was the worst meditation I've ever had in my life. And it was true. And to this day, it was the worst meditation I've ever had in my life. So sitting, the posture that you get in is very important. This is just the loosest, most weird segue into decisiveness, but I'm going to go ahead and go with it. Let's say that you're sitting to meditate. You got to choose a position and sit there and don't move. If you sit and you think, maybe this is a good spot, maybe I'll move, who knows, you're going to move. You will absolutely move, and then you won't be meditating, you'll be moving. So of course there are things called moving meditation. There is a way to do that, but when you're doing a sitting meditation, it's a sitting meditation and you are meant to be totally still. As soon as you move your arm, it takes your awareness and puts it in your arm. It takes your energy, it puts it in your arm. It's a distraction. Then when you go back, now you're thinking about your arm and you're feeling your arm. So choose a spot that you know you can sit in and be totally still and comfortable so that you don't get in the same situation that I did. And it does not have to be a long meditation. You'll notice that something starts to hurt like that if you're in the wrong position. It can only take a couple of minutes. And so meditation on some level is like a race between your ability to go beyond the senses and lock down your body and your awareness so that you are just focusing on the breath and you're not aware of the aches and itches and whatever is going to try to distract you that your body throws at you, because your body does not want you to meditate. Your body and your ego want nothing more than for you to get up and move around and do something, whatever it is, as long as it's not meditation, because your ego knows that meditation is like the ego death. So your ego is very afraid of it. And your body does not like to sit still because your body's not designed to sit still. Your body's designed to move. but we have to be able to still the body and be able to still the mind, and that's what meditation is for. So decisiveness, that's what this talk is about. The question of the week is, how can we be decisive without not jumping the gun, jumping to conclusions? And I did give a whole talk that was more in depth than what I'm going to do tonight. It was after I read the book, I believe, Blink, or it was some book similar to that, which is essentially on intuition and how our minds can very quickly take in a whole array of information and make lightning fast decisions very well if we don't get in the way of that. So essentially, if we are able to set our logic mind, our ego mind to the side and just let our brain kind of take in all the information, then it can make very quick split-second decisions. And there is a wonderful saying, this is an old samurai saying or maxim, that goes, you should be able to make any decision within the span of 7 breaths. And I love this saying in particular because it invokes the breath. And breathing can be one of the very important keys to being decisive without jumping the gun, without jumping to conclusions, without making irrational, overly quick decisions. And 7 breaths is a great amount of time because it is enough time for you to consider and then act. It's usually not enough time for you to second guess. And second guessing, if you're talking about martial arts, is the opportunity for you to get hit. So like if Tanya is my partner and I'm standing here and she's throwing a punch and I'm like, what should I do here? I just got hit, right? Now, the truth is, we practice moving to the outside, so she punches. I can go to the outside, that's great. I could also go to the inside. That's way better than just standing there and getting punched, right? Either way is good. It's like Miyagi says in Karate, and not Karate Joe, that's a book. In Karate Kid, Miyagi Sensei says, walk on one side of road, okay. Walk on the other side of road, okay. Walk in the middle, squished like a grape. And you've got to choose, right? Just as if you're walking, you can't walk in the middle of the street. Choose a side to walk on. Our practice gives us the opportunity to do this. And meditation, not just in the way that you sit, gives us the opportunity to practice this kind of mental state where you are able to connect to the moment, make a decision quickly, but not jump to conclusions and not jump out of turn, so to speak. So the reason that that happens is because we freak out. We think, I don't know what to do, or we just quickly make the first kind of decision that pops into our head, which is sometimes the correct decision. In fact, very oftentimes is the correct decision. But you want to be able to take everything in without overthinking it. So when you practice meditation, what is meditation on a very simple level? It is the practice of non-attachment. So you have a thought, you recognize it, and then you practice non-attachment by letting it go. If you are trying to make a decision and you get stuck, this is attachment. This is attachment to the thought of, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to get this wrong. And so you have to be able to recognize that thought and let it go. When you're making a decision, you can't let go of all thoughts. There's got to be enough of a thought to recognize, the factors to take into account and then make the decision. But you have to be able to let go of all extraneous thoughts, all the extra thoughts, all the second-guessing thoughts. And this is more complicated than meditation, to be able to choose the useful thoughts to pay attention to and weed out from those the less useful thoughts, the ones that are going to cause you to just get stuck or overthink. So that is how meditation kind of fits into decisiveness. But decisiveness is something that we want to practice every day. And the example that I really love to use besides martial arts is driving. I truly hope that you all get more decisive in driving, because from what I can tell, everybody is terrible at this. You're pulling out of a driveway or into an intersection, and you go like halfway. And I see this every single day. Somebody's like halfway. The car is like butt out, trunk sticking out or hood sticking out, and they just stopped. And you know what happened, because we've all done it, is this person started to think, I'm pulling out, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't. And they see a car from real far away, and they think, maybe it's going too fast, maybe I shouldn't go right now, and they stop. And what we should have done in that situation is see the car before we actually pull out into the street, or see that the car is far enough away and just go. But when we get indecisive with this is when, accidents happen, and when you just get stuck and people, create traffic and all of that. Just imagine if everybody in LA was decisive and just went when they were supposed to go, where they were supposed to go. That would be it. There would be no traffic. That would be it. So use any opportunity that we can to practice decisiveness. In the dojo, it's like lightning fast. You got to decide very quickly. Even in Tai Chi, like in push hands or partner form, when it's coming at you, you don't really have that long to choose. You have to make the decision. You have to respond immediately. But in practice and out in life, one of the main things that trips us up is, again, the idea of I've got to do the right thing. I've got to make the perfect decision. There is never a perfect decision. There is responding well, and then there's responding poorly. And inaction or getting stuck and being indecisive is definitely responding poorly. Inaction or indecisiveness is its own decision. It's the decision to not do anything, to sit still and I don't know what to do, I just get stuck. So when we are, I just lost it. It was such a great thing that I was going to talk about. What did I just say? Being indecisive. What did I say about that? Right before that?
Indecisive is a decision.
Yeah, but right before that? Yep, you're all saying the stuff that I remember saying just now. Well, there was something great, and it's gone forever. I hope you can all get this at some point in the future. In any case, it's a good thing this is a short talk followed by a long meditation, because I'm pretty much out of time anyways. But it was something related to the idea of practicing outside. So we want to take any opportunity that we can to practice being decisive. And whether we have 7 whole breaths to make the decision, or we have less than 7 breaths, fewer than 7 breaths, my mom would correct me. We want to be able to make it and be very powerful in our decision making, and then move on from there, right? Without looking back and second guessing. There's another, bless you, there's another great samurai, no COVID. There's another great samurai saying that is, we should treat serious matters. Oh man, I'm gonna gut this one too. We should treat matters of great importance like they're very small, and matters that are very small of little importance like they're very serious. And that is just the worst possible paraphrasing of that I can imagine. It's in Hagakure, read it, it's a great quote. But essentially, when we have these things that we think of as being super huge, very important decisions, what do? We ruminate over it for days or weeks or months or years. And you've all had something that's like a big important decision to make, and you've just essentially put it off. You say, like, it's too important for you to make this decision right now. I gotta wait. And then it never gets made. The decision makes itself because you just waited too long. My Sifu always says, if you wait too long to decide what you're going to do with your life, you're going to wake up one day to realize that it has already been done. The decision has been made because now your life is over, and all the stuff that you wanted to do or didn't want to do, too bad, it's done. So in life, recognize this: 7 breaths. Take a breath, connect to it, just like we do in meditation. And then when you recognize some extraneous thought or some second-guessing thought, something that's trying to pull you back away from the decision, just let it go. Right? We make the decision and we step powerfully into it. And you might very well make mistakes. I remember what I was talking about now. It was responding well. Okay, great. I kind of said everything that I want to say about it, but responding well is the same thing that I'm talking about right now, right? So you can step this way, you can step this way. If you're in the right state of mind, you're responding well, and you're going to be able to, in the moment, respond in the way that you need to. And the attachment to doing everything perfectly is what causes us to get stuck. That's the thing that I was saying. Okay. So as we sit to meditate today, one of the things that we're practicing doing is very simply just going back to the breath over and over and over again. We are reprogramming our minds to go back to the breath. And this is a super useful skill to have, and we want it to happen automatically. So that whenever we encounter a stressful situation or something that we're worried about how we're going to respond, we are getting stuck, we want to come back to the breath, because the breath gives us a clearing. The breath gives us this empty space to stand in and then make a decision, be decisive, and then just move forward from there. If you don't give yourself that clearing, if you don't give yourself that opportunity for your mind to be clear and to be able to make the decision, then you're kind of just bouncing frantically off of walls, and you're making these decisions irrationally from a bad space. You're acting from fear or anxiety or whatever else is there, whatever kind of excitement you're acting from. This is what leads us to jump to conclusions. It's what takes away our ability to be decisive from a great place and just responding well. So, meditation now. This is not your chance to sit and think about the decisions that you need to make in life. The point of this talk is for you to just let all that go. And in this moment, the only decision for you to make is, how are you going to sit? Literally, what physical position is your body in? And then when you choose that decision, you stick with it. You sit still and feel the breath. When a thought comes in and tries to take over your meditation, there's no decision to be made. You just let it go. And your mind's going to come up with all kinds of seemingly incredibly important things for you to think about and make decisions about, and none of that needs to happen right now. The only thing that needs to happen right now is the breath. If the breath doesn't happen, then you're going to die. So breathe and focus on the breath, and make the decision that you are going to just sit still and allow your mind to be taken over by the breath. We're not judging the breath. We're not trying to manipulate the breath. You are just feeling. And in this moment, there is nothing else to do. The most perfect state for you to be in is this. You've already made the decision to sit still. You've already made the decision that this next half an hour is set aside for nothing else to happen. So just sit comfortably.